Hey guys, welcome to Travel Feels. Today we're going to talk about color grading. I'm going to reveal all my color grading workflow secrets. Let's get into it. Happy Black Friday, guys. That sounds like an oxymoron. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and all you Americans stay safe out there. It gets a little wild because we all know that Black Friday means sales. We all love a good sale, but I have something new to release to you guys. I've been working on this for a while now, perfecting it, tweaking it, making it extra good. I was inspired by my trip to Norway and then my trip to Iceland, and I made a new pack of LUTs based on those two trips. So I'm happy to announce the Cine LUTs 2.0 bigger and better, and not only do you get the normal LUTs, but you also get a log version of each LUT. So I made two versions of each LUT, one for just normal footage and then another one for log footage, so it's gonna speed up your process even more. That way you don't have to do as much tweaking and color correcting. It's gonna look better right off the bat as soon as you add that LUT onto that log footage. There's some really cool new looks that I created. For example, Singularity, I really like this one. Or Emerald, it has more of a green tint to it, kind of a Fight Club look. And then there's this one that's totally different from all the other look. It's called Autumn. It has this really nice orange vibe to it. And normally the Cine LUTs 2.0 pack will come with 12 LUTs. But this weekend and this weekend only, there's gonna be an exclusive 3 extra LUTs in the pack. So from today, Black Friday, all the way to Cyber Monday, you're gonna get an exclusive extra 3 LUTs that aren't gonna be available after this weekend. On top of that, of course, we have to do some sales. So the Cine LUTs version 1 are gonna be down to $10. They're gonna be on sale. And the Lightroom presets are gonna go from $20 to $10, but only this weekend. But that's not all. I'm starting to sound like an infomercial. All my courses, I have 3 different courses that kind of go more in depth on a certain subject like wedding videography and color grading and the business side of filmmaking. They're all gonna be on sale for $20 each also, so make sure you check out those if you haven't already and you've been kind of scoping them out, eyeing them out. They're gonna be on sale this weekend. Boom, you gotta love a good sale. And in honor of the new Cine LUTs 2.0, I wanted to show you guys my color grading workflow and reveal some of the secrets that I use to really make my footage shine. I have a few different workflows depending on the scale and size of the project. If I really want to go hard on the color grade, I'm going to use a bit of a different workflow, but this is the workflow that I use for most of my YouTube videos when I don't have a ton of time, but I still want to make it look good. This is the process that I'm using. All right, so let's get into it. Here's our little edit and we're ready to go and color grade. Now, quick pro tip here is to save your project. Make a copy of your project because you never know what can happen during the color grading process, especially if you're doing a lot of different, let's say, adjustment layers. Funny stuff can happen. And I've had Premiere crash a few times where as soon as I open it, it crashes again. And so I was completely screwed and I had to go with some old save. So make sure you're doing a copy at this time. So first off, we want to hit color because we're color grading now. And we want to get our scopes out. If you don't have the scopes out, go to Window and choose Lumetri Scopes. And then you can right click on there and then choose the right ones. I like to use the Vector Scope YUV and then the Waveform Luma version. So step 1 is to denoise. Now this is a step that I sometimes skip depending on how quick my deadline is coming up. If I don't have a lot of time, I'll actually skip this step. But if you want the best quality out of your footage, you need to denoise it. And the reason for this is that all footage has some amount of noise in it. And then when you add a LUT and you add a grade onto it, because of that noise, the grade starts to fall apart a little bit and you get this weird, ugly color noise. So what you need to do is first denoise and then color grade your footage, and it's gonna stick a lot better. Now the crappy thing is that there's no built-in noise reduction, so you're gonna have to use another plugin. I like to use Neat Video, but you can also use Red Giant's denoiser. And remember, don't go too far with this, otherwise your footage will end up looking a little bit plasticky and a little bit fake. And then step number 2 is to choose a LUT. A LUT is basically just a preset, like an Instagram filter, and it gives you a really good starting place to start grading your footage. And professionals would say to first color correct your footage and then add the LUT or the grade, but for the sake of time, usually I just don't have that much time, I like to add the LUT first so I don't have to keep going back and forth, correct, then add the LUT, and then go back again and correct. So we go into the creative corrections, not the basic, because you want to be able to change the intensity of the LUT that you're adding on. We're going to use Singularity from the new CineLuts 2.0 pack, and then we're going to take down the intensity of the LUT a little bit, and we can adjust this later on also. A little note here too is that some people are emailing me saying that LUTs don't work in Premiere. When you open them up, they don't work. That's because you have to actually use Lumetri to add them to your footage. You can't just import them like normal video clips. And then you also want to make sure that your LUT or your preset fits your footage or your project. For example, if you have snowy, cold looking footage, you don't want to use a LUT like Autumn, which is going to really warm up the footage. It's just not going to look right. So make sure you're choosing a LUT that enhances your story. And then step 3 is to color correct. We have to go through each shot and color correct it so the exposure looks good, the contrast is right, the saturation looks good, and that the color balance isn't off. I like to choose a hero shot, which is usually the best shot with a face in it, and start with that, and then I can kind of work from there. I like to use Colorista from Red Giant, and that's just because I've gotten used to it, and it has a little bit more options than the Lumetri color panel. I just find it works a little bit better, but you can totally do the same process right inside the Lumetri color panel. One of the big things that Colorista has is HSL, so you can actually go through each color and change the saturation of it, the hue of it, and also the luminance. So you have a lot more control with this. And the key to color correcting is understanding a little bit of the science behind color. If, for example, your highlights, which is the brightest parts of your image, are feeling a little bit too warm, they're a little bit too orange, how you're gonna correct that is actually take your color wheel in the highlight section and drag it to the opposite direction from that color. So if it's a little orange, you're gonna go towards the teal area to fix that warmness in the highlights. And that's why I like using color wheels. They're just so intuitive when you can see all the colors right there. So when I go through first, I would adjust the contrast and I'd use the waveform to kind of make sure that the contrast levels are good. And then I would go through and change the colors using the vector scope as a reference to see that the saturation and the color balance is good. So the waveform is gonna be a really good tool for contrast, showing where your shadows are, where your highlights are. And then the vector scope is gonna be the tool for colors, showing how much saturation there is, and then also which way it's shifting. So you need to go through and do this for each of your shots in your edit. Then step number 4 is to match your shots. Once you've done your color correction, you want to look through and make sure that your shots look the same. You want to have the same amount of contrast, you want to have the same amount of saturation, and also the colors should look the same. So one shot shouldn't look really warm and then the next one really cold. They should look the same. And again, scopes are going to be your best friend here. For example, here we can right away see that the highlights are way lower on this shot than the next one. In this example, we can see that the vector scope is telling us that this shot is much more saturated and much more blue, so it's shifting towards the blue areas. So we're just gonna bring it back a little bit more towards the orange, and we're gonna desaturate this clip a little bit. So now we can see that the shots match much better, and you need to do this with all your footage. Make sure that all the clips match each other. And then step number 5 is to add some sharpening, and this is your last step. Once you've color graded and you're done, you're gonna add some sharpening. You can add it in an adjustment layer over top, or you can add it to each individual clip if you like. I would use the Unsharp plugin. It's a built-in plugin, and I would put it to around 70 or 80 with 1 pixel radius. Don't go overboard with this. It will ruin your footage. Don't over sharpen. And then you're ready to export. That is my color grading process, my color grading workflow. And this is the workflow that I'm using right now for probably 90% of my videos, especially anything that's going up on YouTube. And when you take it step by step, it's actually not too bad, but it does take a lot of practice to kind of train your eyes so that you can right away see what's wrong with this image and then start correcting it from there. So with practice and hard work, you guys can definitely get it done. All right, guys, make sure to check out the Black Friday sale and especially the CineLuts 2.0 exclusive LUTs only available this weekend. After that, you can still buy the CineLuts 2.0 pack, but you're not gonna have those 3 extra exclusive LUTs. All right, guys, enjoy Black Friday, enjoy the sales, enjoy the weekend, Cyber Monday, all of that. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, be a part of this community, and enjoy the filmmaking process and go get some of those travel feels.